Sarah, yes. Benjamin, yes. Amber, no. Mercedes, no. Tyler with 2 R's, yeah, no. Benjamin, yes. Ladasha with a dash, no. Madison, would you mind grabbing these no's and putting them in the back of the cabinet, please?
You've hardly looked at these. How do you know they're not worth interviewing?
Well, they're names, of course. Don't you know that names are economic signals for how productive they're going to be at our company?
No, I never realized names predicted how productive a worker could be. What even are signals?
A signal is a perceivable action or structure that's intended to, or is evolved to, indicate an otherwise not perceivable quality about the signaler or the signaler's environment. Basically, the purpose of a signal is to indicate a certain quality. Signals have varying degrees of reliability. For example, the signaling theory is concerned with understanding why certain signals are reliable and others are not. It looks at how the signal is related to the quality and it represents, and what are the elements of the signal or the surrounding community that keep it reliable.
Okay, so what does it have to do with the name, or whether or not they would be a good employee?
Well, according to Freakonomics Chapter 6, Perfect Parenting Part 2, a name can tell a lot about a person's background. Roland Fryer, a black economist for Harvard, did a huge study where he collected birth certificates for every child born in California since the year of 1961. The data, covering more than 16 million births, included information about the mother's name, gender, race, and even the parent's marital status. By subjecting this data to something in economics that we call a regression analysis, it's possible to tease out the effect by one factor, in this case, a person's name, on their future education, income, and even their health. Basically, he discovered that certain names are more common among different ethnicities and income groups and even their educational levels.
I still don't understand what this has to do with the person you're interviewing. The parents give them the name. They have no choice in the matter.
Well, according to Fryer's study, having a white name or a more black name does make a difference in terms of economic success. In Fryer's study, a researcher would take 2 resumes. They're both fake and identical, but he would just replace the name on the top. One would have a more white name, while the other would have a more traditionally sounding black name, or someone from an immigrant-sounding name or minority-sounding name, and send them to potential employers. The white resumes have always gleaned more job interviews. Fryer said that a distinctively black name tells us that a person typically comes from a neighborhood that has a higher poverty level, lower income, and is more likely to have teen mothers.
Okay, so if Deshaun Williams and Jake Williams send in identical resumes to the same employer, Jake Williams will probably get the call back and Deshaun won't. So what you're trying to say is that black-sounding names carry an economic penalty?
Yes, and this isn't saying that the employer is racist, but rather that Deshaun sounds more like someone who comes from a lower income and educational level than someone like Jake. That's why, on average, a man named Jake will tend to earn more money and get more education than a boy named Deshaun. Deshaun's name is an indicator, but not a cause of his life path. As a CEO, I want to make sure that we have the smartest group of employees to represent our company. I have to hire interviewers to come and interview the people who I select. So if someone's name sounds uneducated, I put them in the no pile. I don't have time to waste on people that won't be productive for our company.
Well, what if someone happened to change their name to something that is more white-sounding?
Well, if someone tries to change their name for economic success, obviously they must be very motivated and productive. People also do this all the time. The clerks in New York City's civil court recently reported that the name changers are at an all-time high. While some people simply do it because of aesthetic purposes that they don't like their name, others do it for economic purposes. Since there is a huge correlation between a baby's name and their parents' socioeconomic status, we want people who have come from educated backgrounds. If someone named Crystal or Amber keeps their name and is from a poor socioeconomic background, they portray a signal that they might not have the motivation to rise above their socioeconomic status that their parents held.
Okay, now I understand why names are such strong economic signals. I get that this could make the interviewing process much quicker since names are the first thing you see on a resume. It's easy to screen them, which would help you. so you can get through everything a lot faster.
Exactly. So overall, it's not the race of the individual we're concerned about, but more about their level of education and their productivity level. Names are indicators and signals, not a cause of their outcome. Since the kind of parents who would name their son Deshaun would come from, or may come from, a lesser socioeconomic background, and thus provide lesser educational opportunities for their child, the name does hinder the child's applications.
Wow, Alicia. I'm definitely coming to you when I want to name my child. I wouldn't want my child's future to be jeopardized based on the name that I give him or her.
That's an excellent choice, Madison.
Okay, I'll go put these in the cabinet. Good luck with the rest of the resumes.
Thank you.